Good morning once again, and welcome to day 298 of our 365 days of Bible study. We are continuing with St. Mark's Gospel and those parts of St. Mark's Gospel that were copied by St. Matthew and St. Luke. We are at the moment in Holy Week. We've just had the entry of Christ into Jerusalem, and now we come in Mark chapter 11, verses 15 to 19, to the cleansing of the temple. The next day they came to Jerusalem, and he went into the temple and started to throw out people trading in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of the pigeon sellers. He stopped people carrying things through the temple. Teaching them, he said, "In the scripture it says, 'My house shall be known as a house of prayer for all the nations.' You, however, have made it into a robber's retreat." When the chief priests and the scribes heard about this, they started to look for a way to wipe him out. They were scared of him because the crowd was captivated by his teaching. When it got late, they left the city. So what shall we say about this? The court of the Gentiles was an outer area that led into the more exclusive precinct reserved for Jews coming to make offerings and sacrifices. The original purpose of the outer area was to provide for those not born Jewish, a place where they could worship the God of Abraham. Largely, the Jews, and especially the conservative elements amongst their scholars, had for a long time placed their emphasis on Jews doing their utmost to live super perfect lives under the laws of the Torah. They had forgotten their more important mission to bring the one true God to the attention of the world. They had forgotten the purpose of that outer court. It had instead become a place to buy the animal you wanted to sacrifice, or to change your Roman money for shekels that didn't have the emperor's face on them, coins that would be acceptable in the temple treasury. Jesus called this place of worship something like a robber's retreat or a nest of pirates. In St. John's Gospel, this event is placed early in Jesus' ministry rather than early in Holy Week. I believe that John placed it there because his whole gospel is an extended meditation on the significance of Jesus, presented as a series of 7 events and 7 discourses, rather than a story of events told in chronological order. Mark, therefore, gets the event in the right place and shows the growing tension between Jesus' quiet, loving liberation theology and the harsh, frozen spirituality of the Jewish authorities. John, on the other hand, wants us to see who Jesus is right from the start, which justifies him telling his story up front in the early part of his gospel. Of course, this is Jesus, revealing something of his unique take on the role of a Messiah. He's not going for a head-on attack on the Roman occupiers, as many wanted and expected him to. Instead, he's taken up the prophet's role of denouncing corruption and returning the people to true faith. A place of worship is not a place for entrepreneurs and profiteers. Because this was not the Messiah people expected, they were not overawed by his actions. They were, however, won over by his words, and this scared the authorities, the chief priests and scribes, making them cautious about how they were going to put a stop to him. As we shall see tomorrow, their first step is to try to trap him by sending knowledgeable Pharisees and Sadducees with clever questions. But in the end, they have to try more drastic measures. I'll see you tomorrow.